Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen and I'm a dyslexic here to help other dyslexics and their parents. Today I am going to be sharing my favorite accommodations and why I love them and still use them to this day. So if you have an IEP coming up and you want to update your child's accommodations, then this video is for you. Let's get into it. There are so many misunderstandings about accommodations. They're a crutch. Assistive technology does not work, or assistive technology gives them too much of an advantage, and all of those are completely not true. With accommodations, it is actually giving dyslexics the time back and leveling the playing field, helping them access the curriculum in a way that they need to. With accommodations, it just makes us be able to access information that we need to. And so today I'm going to be sharing my favorite accommodations for dyslexics. So we are going to start with testing accommodations. So my favorite testing accommodation is the questions read aloud. This changes everything because we're not spending time reading the question multiple times, first off, to decode the words and try to figure out if every single word we just decoded is correct. Then we're spending time making sure that we understand what we read. So with this accommodation, we're able to take the test faster and not spend all day on one test. The next one is unlimited time or double time. This one is basically the same thing. It takes us longer to read and write and process what we're thinking. And so when we get this accommodation, you have extra time, but really truthfully, it's not extra time. It is actually comes down to the same amount of time, but we're missing, if it's during the school day, we're missing other instruction, other classes to do these tests. The next one is to use manipulatives. So if you're taking like a math test or something else, to be able to use the same manipulatives that you used to learn the concepts during the test. This is not an advantage, it's just to help us be able to replicate how we learn the information. The next one is graphic organizers. Graphic organizers are a great way to map out our thoughts and to help us process the information that we're getting ready to show that we've learned back to the teacher and our parents and ourselves. So those are my favorite testing accommodations. The next one are reading accommodations. So my favorite reading accommodation is assistive technology, and it's text-to-speech while reading. And so most people don't like assistive technology, and I'm here to tell you that I learned so much information with assistive technology. I've used it pretty much my entire life, and I have learned so much. And since technology has come so far, and now you can do it on your computer and it can highlight the word, I ended up learning new words. I ended up learning how to spell certain words. I was like, oh, that's that word? And I learned so much more. So it actually ended up being a benefit in helping me learn how to read and understand things better. The next one is the same as testing. Just have the questions read aloud. So when doing a worksheet or anything, have somebody come over and read the directions, have somebody read the questions is key. The next one for writing. So let's talk about writing. Use graphic organizers. I love graphic organizers to help me map out my thoughts. So just get the ideas down is a great way. Another one that I've started using is mind mapping. I love to color code things. Color coding helps it become easier to look at, understand, and figure out where I want the message to go. The next one is, again, assistive technology. I love assistive technology and I use it still to this day for writing. And so this is speech to text. So you are going to talk the information like into a computer or a voice recorder or something. I still use this when using text messages, but you definitely have to proofread it. I use it when writing emails for Dyslexic Labs. I use it when brainstorming my ideas for these videos. And so I love assistive technology and cannot say enough good things about it. The next one is math. So again, have the questions read aloud and able to use manipulatives to help you figure out the problem. So basically, with the manipulatives, we're starting to make learning more multisensory, which is what we need because we can see the problem and work it out and solve it. We can touch it and we can say it. So making learning multisensory. There are a couple of accommodations that I recommend for environment. So the first one is do not, and I repeat this one, I had this happen to me when I was in the second grade. I still remember that day. I still remember the teacher asking me to read in front of the class, even though she gave me advance warning on what I was expected to read, still scarred. And I didn't learn anything from that lesson because I was so nervous I was going to misread the information in front of my classmates. So the number one biggest accommodation is not to force a dyslexic to read out loud unless they volunteer. If they volunteer, then that's fine. That's different. But do not force them to read or ask them to read if they do not feel comfortable. I always sat next to the teacher, which just helped me focus, and the teacher could check in with me. And so the next one is teacher check-in, and have the teacher come and check in with the student to make sure that they're understanding. So these are my favorite accommodations. And a few things with accommodations is I would not just go in and check every accommodation available to the child or student. I would honestly pick just a handful of accommodations and work with your child to understand the ins and outs of the accommodations so they know what's expected, because you aren't always going to be there to help them with the accommodations. A teacher's going to get busy and forget. And so this is one of the best and easiest ways to start with self-advocacy. And I'm a huge believer in self-advocacy. And so empowering students and teaching them that this is how to make things fair for me so I can learn the same information that my classmates are learning. I might be learning it and doing it in a different way, but I'm still doing the same information. And so I hope this information was useful. Remember, accommodations for dyslexics help level the playing field and give us our time back. I hope you found this useful with parts of the IEP. I love accommodations. If you have any questions, go ahead and send me an email at hello@dyslexiclabs.com. And in the next few weeks, I have more information about the IEP process, dyslexia, and the evaluation process. I have lots of information coming, and I can't wait to share that with you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.